Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Yeah, still got the fantastic background. Eventually I'll upgrade and do something else about this background, but again, it is not a Google or a weird background, it is a real wall. Anyway, last video talked about GameStop and the Web 3.0 and how this new market arena can use Web 3.0 for its totally new space for interactions. I want to add more to this because there's one more important ingredient that I didn't get to. I want you to start thinking about Ethereum again. This is the most important thing because in the past, I've talked about Ethereum as a horse race, like Kentucky Derby. I've related to the layer 1 and layer 2 as a river and ferry boats for layer 2 and ZK rollups. Now think about Ethereum in general as this infinite highway. All right, because it just goes on and on and on and on with no end space. All right, just endless space. And all along the highway are endless spaces and just empty places to start building. And all this is where all of the DeFi apps are going to come along. All on the sides of the roads, you're going to be able to put and have all of these different stops. These will be the protocols and different apps that will be there. All right. Now, with all of this, it's called composability. Composability is a system, a design principle that deals with the interrelationships of components. Okay. It's a highly composable system that provides new components that can be selected and assembled in various combinations to satisfy specific user requirements. If you know what this is, Legos. All right. Same thing, different Ethereum level, and all these different protocols and requirements, and they can just layer on top of each other to make money Legos. That's what these DeFi apps are. And it's basically what they're creating is new forms of financial services that, again, were never thought possible. And the more I think about this, and the more you read about where GameStop is going and what AMC could be doing, they're pushing the borders and going along the road to really explore this. And of course, there's a lot of fun about going on about this, but through a lot of new protocols, the Loopring, Axie Infinity, Play to Earn, all of this is using the space on the side of the road for Ethereum. All right, now, once you think of it, keep in mind about building a Legos here, because it's important to understand how these new financial products are going to be important for you and I. All right, because we can think about all these new systems, and when we buy and purchase cryptocurrencies, when you read about them and see how they're used, it's going to be an important part of how, I guess, we're interacting with financial systems, banking, loans, NFTs, everything, right? But now, when you hear about Web 3.0, you're going to notice that because it's going to play a huge role in all these protocols. It's going to provide this financial incentive or tokens for anyone who wants to participate in creating, governing, contributing, or just improving one of these projects themselves. And that is one of the most important things, just taking part in being part of the projects. And of course, whatever cryptocurrency or token you have a choice to interact in different ways. All right. Now, these protocols may offer variety some different services. Computers, compute, storage, bandwidth, identity, hosting, all these other things like web services that are commonly provided by cloud providers in the past, right? We've always had to pay for this. And that is something that's going to change. Okay. Because now people can make a living by participating in the protocols in various ways. In some technical ways, but also in some non-technical ways. Gamers, they're going to have one of the best options and availability to understand how to interact with Web 3.0. They're already partly involved in this whole environment, NFTs, gaming. They're going to find ways to tweak, add, and basically create their own world to incentivize how you interact and how they interact with each other. That's going to be freaking awesome. There's also staking, but also adding to protocols, all right? And now, of course, the most famous thing, we have Play to Earn. Of course, we know about this. And if you've explored that, I'd love to hear about what your experiences are with that. I've really gone into that. Curious to know how this is going to go. I do have a lot of pros and cons about this. Just reminds me of the loot boxes with Star Wars games. So anyway, we're consumers. And we've always had to pay for any kind of protocol or app that we've had to use, right? For example, cloud providers like AWS, Apple Cloud, Google Drive. Example, we pay for Fortnite. We buy new skins, we buy weapons, we buy maps, we upgrades, but they all just stay there and they're very static. Except in Web 3.0, the money is going to go directly to the network participants. All right, again, this is, of course, this depends upon the protocol, how we set up and how we interact with it, but in general, this takes away the middleman. All right, the best part of this new protocol, give you an example like Axie Infinity, instead of 100% just going right to the platform, they're only going to keep 5%. This means the 95% of all the revenue gets distributed back to the gamers. And that's pretty freaking awesome, right? Now, the problem is with games right now is when the player decides to stop playing and or they grow and they outgrow it. Where's all the money gone? It just leaves us. It's just passing out the money and it goes nowhere. But now we have the tokenization in NFTs that'll be linked to all of this, hopefully, depending upon which platform, and see how all these big brands get involved with this. But what if the players now retain ownership of the items and you can keep them or sell them, right? Their items can maintain, increase, decrease in value, just like any physical asset we own. These type of experiences, now this is the thing about Web 4.0, it's going to be more about experiences, not just in the static 2D world, but hopefully more three-dimensional world. Of course, because all this is going to be made possible through NFTs and tokens, right? And now, of course, this again goes through scarcity in a world where before in the past, there was no scarcity. You just need a new weapon, you go buy a new one. But now, through all the gaming and gamers, that's going to be the most fun part of this, is seeing how they develop and utilize this, because this is the future of the social media aspect of it. What I'm looking forward to see how Gamestop is going to be developing a new marketplace. Are they going to have a chat room? Are they going to be linking, having meet and greets, linking tokenization, all of this? And even with AMC, how are they going to link, if they do decide to get into the cryptocurrency and link tokenization of the NFTs, the tickets? Interesting. A lot to think about, a lot more discussion, because you have to think about how all these platforms are going to begin leveraging all the Web3 tools. And again, it comes down to communities and communication, a topic I talked about in the last one, because communities and communication is how you get scarcity. It's how you get value within all the cryptocurrencies. You know, the Shiba Inu and the Dogecoin, of course, right? Everybody who's been holding GameStop and AMC, it's about the community, but also communication. And again, this is the next disruption on social media as we know it, right? Because it's going to take about 1 to 3 years, in my guess, to get all these ideas together in a way that we have not experienced yet. And I know it's going to be hard to imagine, but this is, again, where I feel it's 1997, when the beginning of the internet boom just started and computers just became available in your house. Strange it is, but again, we're seeing something echoing and coming out, but this is going to be even larger, which is pretty awesome. Now, if you're familiar with Aave, AAVE, it's a very successful DeFi protocol that's built on Ethereum. They've already begun working on a decentralized version of Twitter. See how that goes. But what gets me right now is how low-key this is, until this thing starts in the media. It's coming slower toward media. And yes, of course, understanding this whole ecosystem now is investing in various protocols, tokens or currencies, is freaking pretty awesome. You got to think about your awareness of this right now. And when you talk to people, do they understand it? And having to explain to somebody like they're 5 what's going on, and they're like, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. Well, it's already happening. And you're early. Just being this early is pretty freaking awesome. So all of you out there, some deep thoughts, some good thoughts. Have a great day. Game on.